Proton E-Mars 7 intelligence that electrifies. Real. जमघट जहाँ रियल पार्टी पैक त्यहाँ नयाँ गुड नाइट फ्लैश और लिक्विड वेपोराइजर भन्दा 2 गुना बढी प्रभावशाली.
Proud to be associated with Kantipur News.
In a historic turning point in the nation's political landscape, a corruption case has been officially filed against a former Prime Minister, a development that has sent shockwaves across the country. Meanwhile, the Parliament remains paralyzed with opposition parties continuing to bring proceedings to a standstill. That and more in today's Kantipur News. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Corruption watchdog CIA files a case against 93, including former Prime Minister Madhav Kumar Nepal in Patanjali land scam. Nepal suspended as lawmaker. Parliament session obstructed once again amid opposition protests over visit visa issue. House adjourned till 1 p.m. tomorrow as deadlock continues. Israeli military recovers bodies of 2 hostages taken by Hamas. US vetoes UN Security Council resolution calling for immediate Gaza ceasefire. And All Nepal Football Association announces Patrick D. Wile's appointment as the head coach for women's football team. Nepal to compete in Women's Asian Cup qualifiers under D. Wile's lead. With the filing of a corruption case, the parliamentary membership of CPN Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal, who is also a former Prime Minister, has been automatically suspended. Nepal was elected from Rohtahat Constituency 1 in the 2022 parliamentary election. Section 33 of the Prevention of Corruption Act stipulates that employees and officials holding public office are automatically suspended once a corruption case is filed against them until the case is resolved. With Nepal's suspension, 4 members of parliament have now been suspended in the House of Representatives. Though Bahadur Rai Majhi of CPN UNI, Ravi Lamichhane of Rashtra Swatantra Party and Mohan Bahadur Basnet of Nepali Congress were suspended after corruption and financial irregularities cases were filed against them. Now here's what Special Court's Information Officer Yagyaraj Regmi had to say about the case filed earlier today.
अख्तियार दुरुपयोग अनुसन्धान आयोगले आज मिति 2082 साल जेठ महिनाको 22 गते हदबन्दीभन्दा बढी जग्गा खरिद बिक्री गर्न दिई सरकारी सार्वजनिक सम्पत्ति हिनामिना हानि नोक्सानी गरी भ्रष्टाचार गरेको आरोप सहित पूर्व प्रधानमन्त्री माधव कुमार नेपाल समेत 93 जनालाई प्रतिवादी बनाएर विशेष अदालतमा मुद्दा दायर गरेको छ। यसमा पतञ्जलि योगपीठ तथा आयुर्वेद कम्पनी नेपालले काभ्रे जिल्लाको नासिका स्थान सागा महेन्द्र ज्योतिमा कम्पनी सञ्चालनका लागि हदबन्दीभन्दा बढी जग्गा खरिद गरेको र उक्त जग्गा कम मूल्यमा खरिद गरेर बढी मूल्यमा बेचेको आरोप दाबी छ। यसमा प्रतिवादीहरू माधव कुमार नेपाल समेत तत्कालीन प्रधानमन्त्री माधव कुमार नेपाल समेत 93 जना हुनुहुन्छ।
Senior Vice Chair of CPN Unified Socialist Rajendra Pandey has claimed that party chair and former Prime Minister Madhav Kumar Nepal is innocent.
म तपाईको अगाडि एउटा पत्रै देखाउँछु। यो पत्र भनेको पतञ्जलि दिएको पत्र हो। यो हैन, यो 2069 साल 8 महिना 25 गतेको राष्ट्रिय अख्तियार दुरुपयोग अनुसन्धान आयोगको निर्णय हो। यो त्यो निर्णयमा नै 66 साल 10-18 गतेको मन्त्री परिषदको निर्णयले जग्गा किन्न दिने भन्ने निर्णय छ। 66 साल चैत्र 6 गतेको निर्णयले जग्गा साटफेर गर्न पनि दिने भन्ने खालको निर्णय छ। त्यो नेपालको भूमि सम्बन्धी ऐनमा टेकेर यो सब निर्णय भएको छ। त्यतिबेला पतञ्जलि काभ्रे जिल्लाको नासिका गाउँ विकास समितिमा रहेको 313 रोपनी जमिन चाहिँ 4,22,50,000 मा उले बेच्न स्वीकृति लियो र बेच्न स्वीकृति लिनुभन्दा पहिला उले के भन्यो भने 1,77,00,000 रुपैयाँ मैले पैसा तिरेर जग्गा किनिसके, अर्को जग्गा सट्टा भर्ना र अरु जमिन पनि मैले किन्नलाई बैना दिइसके र भूमि सम्बन्धी ऐन अनुसार 5 वर्षसम्म त्यस्तो सट्टा भर्ना जमिन किन्न पाउने व्यवस्था भएको हुनाले मैले त्यो समयभित्र म सबै किनिमाउँछु भनेर उसले भनेको छ र त्यसैलाई आधार बनाएर म तपाईलाई लास्टली भन्छु हदबन्दी छुटको जग्गा बिक्री गर्न र खरिद गर्न नेपाल सरकारले नै छुट दिएको अवस्था देखिएको समेत हुँदा यसमा थप केही गरिरहनु पर्ने देखिँदैन। 5 वर्षभित्र खरिद सक्नुपर्ने भन्ने नेपाल सरकारको निर्णय देखिँदा यसको रेकर्ड राख्न एवं अनुगमन गर्न जग्गा बिक्री भएको मालपोत कार्यालय काभ्रेलाई लेखी पठाई उजुरी फाइल तामेलीमा राख्ने भनेको छ। यति बेला यो घटना जन्मिनु आउँदो 28 गतेमा अख्तियार लगायतका सबै संवैधानिक निकायहरूको म्याद सिद्धिने फैसला पनि हुनु यही छोटै अवधिमा के गर्नुपर्ने हो गरी भ्याउनु पर्ने बाध्यता भएर नै यो सब गर्दै हो कि जस्तो लाग्छ।
Chairperson of CPN Unified Socialist and former Prime Minister Madhav Kumar Nepal has claimed that he has committed no wrongdoing in connection with the Patanjali land case. Speaking to journalists in his home district of Rohtahat today, Nepal expressed surprise that such irregularities could occur in an institution like Patanjali. He asserted that he had no knowledge of who inserted or omitted specific clauses related to the case and emphasized that he neither engaged in any improper activity nor encouraged others such actions. Following the registration of a corruption case, Nepal also claimed or informed that he would be consulting legal experts regarding the current situation.
अब त्यो त अब के भएको छ अब त्यस बारेमा मलाई त जानकारी छैन। मैले पनि कानुन व्यवसायीहरुसँग परामर्श गर्नुपर्छ। कसले त्यहाँ चाहिँ के लुप होल्सहरु राख्यो त्यो लुप होल्समा ध्यान पुगेन यावत कुराहरुको बारेमा पनि राम्ररी नबुझिकन पुगेपछि होइन। मैले त आफ्नो तर्फबाट कुनै बेठी काम गरेको पनि छैन। मेरो त दिमागमा पनि रहेकै पनि होइन। पतञ्जलि जस्तो संस्था यस्तो कुरा भएको होला भन्ने मेरो दिमागमा मैले कल्पना पनि नगरेको कुरा। अब म कसैले माथि पनि आरोप लगाउन चाहन्न। मैले अब आरोप लगाउनु उचित हुँदैन। तर म आफै त्यस्तो कुनै पनि खराब नियतबाट लाभ उठाएर भ्रष्टाचार गरेर कुनै पनि कामको निम्ति निर्णय आदेश दिने काम मबाट भएको छैन र त्यस्तो कुराको म विरोधमा छु।
अब हजुरकै नेता राजेन्द्र पाण्डेले चाहिँ केपी ओलीको निर्देशनमा मुद्दा दर्ता भयो भन्ने प्रतिक्रिया दिनुभएको छ। यसलाई हजुरले के गर्नुहुन्छ? केपी ओलीको निर्देशनमा भएको मान्नु?
त्यो त हो, त्यो त सिधा कुरा हो। उहाँ मेरो विरुद्धमा सुरुदेखि लाग्नु भएको पनि हो। मेरो क्यारियरलाई राजनीतिक क्यारियरलाई समाप्त पार्ने उहाँको नियतै हो। पहिले पनि उहाँले यस्तै किसिमले पटक कोसिस गर्नुभएको हो। उहाँ चाहिँ भनेको बदलाको भावनाबाट चल्नु भएको छ।
Moving on, the repeatedly postponed meeting of House of Representatives scheduled for 1 p.m. today has once again in fact failed to commence as planned. Protests from the opposition parties have continued to obstruct proceedings. With no consensus yet among the ruling and opposition parties, uncertainty over the functioning of the parliament persists. The meeting has now been adjourned until 1 p.m. tomorrow. The opposition parties have continued to obstruct Parliament, demanding an investigation into the visit visa issue. They have accused Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak of involvement in the matter and are calling for his resignation, as well as the formation of an independent commission to investigate. Although the opposition parties allowed the budget to be presented, they have not allowed subsequent meetings to move forward. The Parliament Secretariat has continued to list the regular agenda. However, the House had been adjourned repeatedly. A meeting of officials at the Speaker's residence has agreed to move ahead in a creative and constructive way to ensure the Parliament functions. CPN Maui Centre is preparing to hold discussions with other opposition parties to help resolve the deadlock. Main opposition party CPN Maui Centre has initiated internal discussions after Supreme Court ordered an investigation into the murder case against their party Vice Chair Agni Sapkota. A meeting of Maui Centre officials held this morning at Chairperson Pushpa Kamal Dahal's residence in Kumaltar concluded that a decision regarding the Supreme Court's order concerning Vice Chair and spokesperson Sapkota would be made after receiving the full text. Maui Centre spokesperson Agni Sapkota stated that they are awaiting the full text of the Supreme Court's order on the matter.
लिखित पनि आएको छैन हैन एउटा चाहिँ आफ्नै ढंगले प्रचार गरेका छन् त्यो प्रचारमा पनि त्यति धेरै चाहिँ सत्यता छैन त्यो आफ्नै हिसाबले प्रचार गरेका छन् त्यसकारण मैले हिजो भने जस्तै अहिले पनि भन्ने कुरा के हुन्छ भने यहाँ धेरै छलफल गर्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता भएन अहिले पनि के हुन्छ भने जब त्यो पूर्ण पाठ आउँछ नि पूर्ण पाठ आइसकेपछि त्यसलाई राम्रोसित अध्ययन गरिसकेपछि राम्रोसित धारणा व्यक्त गर्ने कुरा नै ठीक हुन्छ
Sapkota also mentioned that the meeting discussed parliamentary proceedings and issues related to Truth and Reconciliation Commission (TRC). Yesterday, the Supreme Court's constitutional bench ordered that investigations proceed on complaints filed against Sapkota regarding conflict-era incidents. The Supreme Court also annulled the then government's decision to halt the investigation against Sapkota. It is time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what do you think of the Supreme Court order to the government to investigate CPN Maoist Centre Vice Chair Agni Sapkota? Your options are A, gives a hope for justice, B, investigation should be impartial, C, a matter of transitional justice, and D, prefer not to comment. To vote, visit KantipurTV.com or ekantipur.com and share your opinion with us. Now, criminal charges have been filed against some parliamentarians and arrests have also taken place recently, raising serious concerns about the moral standards of those responsible for making laws and policies. At times, parliamentarians have even been seen engaging in physical altercations, completely disregarding the expected code of conduct.
On 22nd of May, a meeting of the Women and Social Affairs Committee turned disorderly when a confrontation broke out among lawmakers. During the exchange, parliamentarian Kalpana Mia threw a microphone at committee chairperson Kiran Shah. The meeting also witnessed the use of inappropriate language and conduct deemed inconsistent with parliamentary norms. That same day, a session of the Public Accounts Committee was disrupted after disagreements between ruling and opposition lawmakers. On 23rd of May, another meeting of the Public Accounts Committee was marked by a series of accusations and counter-accusations between the chairperson and members, reflecting a continued breach of decorum. Despite recurring incidents, the Parliamentary Conduct Monitoring Committee, led and formed by the Speaker, has yet to be established. Parliamentarians have continued to display undisciplined behavior in various committee meetings. However, the Parliament Secretariat maintains that no action has been taken because it does not view the recent conduct of lawmakers as a violation of parliamentary standards.
अहिलेसम्म आचरण अनुगमन अथवा आचरण उल्लङ्घन भएका अथवा त्योसँग सम्बन्धित भएर त्यस्तो उजुरीहरू प्राप्त भएका छैनन् कुनै गुनासाहरू पनि आएका छैनन् त्यो कारणले पनि हालसम्म त्यो बनाइहालिएको अवस्था चाहिँ होइन तर नियमावलीमा व्यवस्था भइसकेपछि त्यो बनाउनु पर्ने चाहिँ हो
Since the beginning of the ongoing parliamentary session, several parliamentarians have faced allegations ranging from corruption to criminal charges. 3 lawmakers have been suspended, 2 are currently in custody. The rules of the House empower the Conduct Monitoring Committee to question concerned individuals, institutions, or third parties if any complaint or information related to misconduct arises. The Speaker, who chairs this committee, also holds the authority to take disciplinary action against those found guilty of misconduct. Repeated instances of inappropriate conduct have occurred without any visible intervention from the Speaker. The absence of the committee has allowed a lack of accountability to prevail.
कसैले आचरण विपरीत कार्य गर्छ हैन संसदले चाहिँ भन्नु नि निर्माण गरेको आचार संहिता भंग गर्छ भने त्यो व्यक्तिले त भन्नु नि सजाय भोगी हुनै पर्यो नि त्यो व्यक्तिलाई चाहिँ भन्नु नि संसदले नसिहत नदिने भए अरूले दिन्छ ओ त्यो त्यसलाई हामीले छोड्दै जाने हो बेलगाम र ढंगले अगाडि बढ्दै जाने हो भने त अनुशासन त बढ्दै जान्छ जुन कि अहिले देखा परिरहेको छ
Rule 219 of the House of Representatives regulation outlines the code of conduct for lawmakers. It includes provisions that require parliamentarians to uphold public morality, avoiding participating in matters where personal interest conflict with public duties, and act in alignment with public interest. The Conduct Monitoring Committee has the mandate to recommend action if these rules are not followed. The Speaker, however, has not taken the necessary steps to enforce these standards by forming the required oversight body. For Kantipur News, a report by Anjana Lamichane.
Now, the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee, which began its theoretical discussion on Wednesday, has now started clause-by-clause deliberation on the bill to amend the Citizenship Act 2063. After the discussions with lawmakers conclude, the committee will deliberate internally to finalize the bill. Committee Chair Ramhari Khatiwada stated that discussions will be advanced to reach a conclusion on the bill without delay. The All Nepal Football Association (ENFA) has announced Patrick Diwal's appointment as the women's team coach today via social media. It is understood that a one-year agreement has been signed between both parties, although ENFA has not officially disclosed details about the contract duration. Diwal, who holds a UEFA Pro license, previously came to Nepal as the coach of Kathmandu Races in the Nepal Super League (NSL). This marks his first role as a national team head coach. He has prior experience serving as an assistant coach for the national teams of Algeria and Hungary. He has also worked as an assistant coach for China's under-23 women's team. ENFA had invited applications for the women's team coach position, receiving 22 applications. Diwal was selected after 2 candidates were shortlisted in the final round. The Nepali women's team recently returned home after playing friendly matches in Thailand. Under Diwal's training, Nepal will now compete in the Women's Asian Cup qualifiers. Nepal is in Group F for the qualifiers along with Uzbekistan, Laos and Sri Lanka. Group F matches will commence in Uzbekistan on June 29th. Nepal will kick off their tournament against Laos on the same day. The 34 participating teams in the qualifiers have been divided into 8 groups. Diwal will face the challenge of leading Nepal to the top of Group F and securing their first ever spot in the Women's Asian Cup to be held in Australia in 2026. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Up next is Binay Kumar with more updates. Stay with us.